Okay, this is from the level 1 functional skills sample paper, and this is from the calculator paper again. This is actually the last question in the calculator paper. So it's a whole page question. It's worth quite a lot of marks if you manage to get it all, and you can kind of assume that because it's the last question in the paper, it's probably going to be the most difficult one or the most long-winded one. But don't be put off by the amount of information in here. You've actually just got 2 questions here to work out, and this whole thing is worth 6 marks. So even if you just do a part of it or you do some workings, you could still get some quite valuable marks even if you don't manage to do the whole thing. So what you don't want to do is see this and kind of panic and just totally leave it, because actually that's quite a big amount of marks that you're just leaving. It's worth having a read, having a go, because you could pick up those valuable marks that get you the pass that you need. Okay, so let's just have a look at this question. Your boss needs to go to a meeting in London on Sunday. Usually, the first line of a question is totally pointless information. This actually isn't. I need to remember London and Sunday. He lives half an hour drive from Stockport station. Okay, and he doesn't want to leave home too early. This is actually all quite important information here, so I'm going to highlight quite a lot of it. Okay, the meeting starts at 2. That's 2 p.m, okay, 1400 hours, as you might say in 24-hour time. It's in a hotel, which is a 15-minute walk from the station in London. And this is the train timetable for Sunday, which is the day that he's going. Okay. Now, looking at this first question, it says work out the best train for your boss to catch and explain why you chose that train. So right now, I'm just going to ignore this bit about ticket prices. They're trying to kind of catch you out and overwhelm you by putting all the information and then all the questions. But actually, it could just go this information, this question, and then this information, this question. Okay, but they're just kind of catching you out with how they've laid out the page, making it look a little bit more intimidating and potentially making you use your time to read information that you don't need yet. This is just about the times of trains, so I don't need to worry about ticket prices yet. Okay, so work out the best train for your boss to catch. Okay, so he lives near Stockport. He lives a half-hour drive from Stockport, and he's going to London. So these are the rows in the timetable that I need to look at. Okay, the meeting starts at 2, and it's in a hotel, which is a 15-minute walk from the station in London. So I need to now look at which trains get in around 2. So this one gets in at 2:10. That's no good. That'll be too late. This one gets in at 13:47. Now, you might at first think this is the most appropriate one, but actually he's got a 15-minute walk. He's not going to make it there by 2. This one gets in at 13:28, so about 1:30. Okay, that is probably the most appropriate one for him to catch, because as it says up here, he doesn't want to leave home too early. So if you went for any of the ones before that, he would be leaving quite a bit before he actually needs to. Okay, so this is the train. So I'm going to write in here the 11:24 train, because when they ask which train, they're asking for the time it leaves where he's at. Okay, so if you've caught the train yourself, you might know that. He'll be in Stockport at the train station, and they'll say the 11:24 train to London. Okay, the trains don't have names, they're just named after the time that they're leaving that station that you're at. So when it says train, you're looking for the time it leaves the one he's at. And my explanation is that it will arrive with half an hour for him to walk to the hotel. Okay, so that train gives him plenty of time to do that 15-minute walk up to the hotel and be ready for the meeting. So that's the first part done. Now I'm going to look at the second part. Now we can assume that this information about ticket prices is now going to be relevant. Okay, so your boss will travel back on Monday. Work out the cheapest cost for your boss to travel to London and back. Okay, so we know he's going on Sunday because that's up here. And we need to work out the cheapest cost for him to get to London and back. So we're looking at both journeys. Okay, so we need to have a little look. So the off-peak is at the weekends and the peak is any day. So you can only buy these cheaper tickets on the weekends. So he's leaving on a weekend. So he could get the single to London with an off-peak, and then he would have to get the single back on the Monday with a peak. So we'll work out how much that costs. Okay, so that's £219.55 to get 2 single tickets, okay? Or alternatively, he can just get the any day return. He wouldn't be able to get the off-peak return because he's not doing both journeys on the weekend. He would have to get the peak return, which is 242. So without doing any more workings, I already know that actually it would be cheaper for him to just get 2 single tickets than to get the return ticket. So the cheapest cost is £219.55, okay? And I've shown my workings here. So there we go, that's the final question in the calculator paper, probably the hardest question that you're going to get at level 1. We've broken it down, we've picked out the key information, and we've managed to work it all out quite quickly, okay? Hopefully this has helped you, and hopefully you will be slightly less intimidated by these very wordy questions that are full of tables and information and diagrams and everything. Actually, they are quite simple when you break it down.